I've never really understood forgiveness. It's always seemed, even as a child, it seemed vaguely hierarchical to me that, sort of like, I forgive you is putting myself above you, that sort of the Pope would give a dispensation. And when it's the person who's higher on the hierarchy apologizing to the person lower on the hierarchy, then that is a form of sort of symbolic submission. And part of the reason that I looked at it that way when I was a kid is because, my father was very violent, and the church would repeatedly tell everyone involved that you have to turn the other cheek, 7 times, 70 times, and you have to forgive. And this all really confused me. And so I spent, part of my childhood in confusion about forgiveness, but I was able to really articulate it much later. And I still don't really understand forgiveness as such, but my understanding is a bit more articulate now than it was when I was a kid. And the understanding now is that I see basically a couple situations that if someone does something to me that is painful or that is hurtful, I should say, if they do it on purpose, and if their behavior doesn't change, then forgiveness is really codependence. That's another word for it. It's just putting yourself in for more of the same. So you hurt me, or I hurt you, say, I hurt you intentionally. And then I say, oh, I'm so sorry, I won't do it again. And then I do it again. And I say, I'm sorry. I mean, this is just a standard abusive tactic. And on the other hand, if somebody hurts someone else, if somebody hurts me, and then they change their behavior and they're not going to do it again, then there's nothing really to forgive because it's all just in the past. And forgiveness for me is really irrelevant because, okay, yeah, you hurt me, but now you're not going to do it again. So let's just move on. And maybe that's what forgiveness means. I don't know. But if that's the case, it seems like forgiveness is just an extra step that's unnecessary. So again, if the behavior is continuing, then forgiveness is actually harmful and a continuation of the cycle. And if the behavior has changed, well, let's just move on with our lives.